Hello and welcome to the Porsche Cup Challenge here tonight for round 8. We are going to be taking on Road America, and this is a quite a fun track. It flows very nicely, and this long corner here, we're seeing the carousel could provide some fun racing. Easy to mess up this next corner here, and yeah. So tonight I'm joined by Mr. Zach Purcell as always, and how you doing, Zach?
I'm doing good. This is a tough racetrack. It's very long. It's understeer city on so many of these corners, but luckily it has passing opportunities galore. So we'll be able to see action throughout the entire lap, throughout this entire race. You can definitely follow each other through a lot of these corners. So I'm looking forward to it, and it should be pretty electric and pretty competitive.
Yeah, very excited. Another series that we broadcast went here just about a week ago, and it was an awesome, very fun race, so very excited to watch.
Yeah, for looking at some storylines already starting to develop, the guy who has the most to gain and probably has the most important race coming up is Aiden Young there. He's currently in 4th, and the reason it's so important is the guy who's leading the pro category, that's Sam Sproul, he's not here. Second is Devin Horvath, and while he is on pole, he has a drive-through to serve on the first heat, so he's going to be way down at the back at the start of this first heat that we have. And then Aiden Young's in 3rd. 4th is Marco Valverde, who's also not here and also has a drive-through to serve. And then 5th is Michael McLeod, who's right behind him, with even 6th place not here. So Aiden Young has a lot to gain from this race in that 3rd place position.
Yeah, this could be an interesting one here tonight. Lots of penalties coming out. We're coming to the end of the season, so the wonderful battle is shaping up, and we're gonna have to see just what everybody can do to make their strides for the title.
Yeah, with today being week 9, we've now got two of the drop weeks already factored into the overall points. So with 4 races to go, we're starting to get a better idea of who's going to be coming out on top, and there are some really close battles in both classes right now.
There sure are. Now I'm very excited to see how that plays out, because it's going to be a wonderful last stretch of the season.
Some really good races, and of course the the finale of this season actually comes at the Nordschleife, which would be, it's Gesam Strecke short without arenas. It's a little bit of a different layout than usually is run there, but a whole brand new challenge from the rest of the season, which has been pretty standard racetracks. But Barcelona historic after this week, and then on to Sebring. So a really strong finish for the track selection here.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun to watch that play out, the championship play out, and I mean, we've got cash prizes here in Porsche Cup Challenge, so they are all wanting to win as much as they can. Bring home a little dollar.
Devin Horvath, certainly, unless he gets unseated here, certainly the fastest guy on the track. But like I say, he's going to have that drive-through, so unfortunately the advantage that he's got is going to go completely away. But keep an eye on him to charge through the field in the first heat and try to put himself in a good position to compete well in the second heat. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see some incidents in the first couple corners here. There's a lot of room to go side by side, but it's surprisingly difficult to go side by side through some of these corners. And a collision is sometimes inevitable in some points of this track.
Yeah, so Micah Hendricks, the last person on track, he'll be able to finish this lap. He's put in 2 laps, but they've been very not good, so they haven't been set for a lap time. So we're gonna have to see what he can do here, his last chance to qualify.
Yeah, it's you definitely want to get a lap time in, especially with him being in the pro class. He wants to get up to those guys up at the top and really fight for the points. So hopefully he's able to put one in here. Although it wouldn't surprise me if those 2 invalidated laps came from some understeer, like I had kind of mentioned before. This has some track limits that are very appetizing to try to push, and you often dip some tires into the grass.
Yeah, that can be dangerous, but no, he's kicked out of his lap before he can finish it. So he'll have to start all the way down in P27. That's not really where you want to be. Either way, it's time to see our grid. So let's take a look here. Devin Horvath puts it on pole, then Mikey Hownick and Ryan Winfelt. Patrick Kingston starts in 4th after before Aiden Young, Michael McLeod, Philippe Straffarelli, Troy Fenelon, Michael Carrillo, Aaron Hall, Ryan Calhoun. Yes, and Shannon Mothral.
Oh, and those guys, we have Carl Ribbing, Jean Rivera, Mark Santana, Young Choi, Stephen Eckenrode, Jose Maria, Burkan Tamir, Edward Hubb, Michael Murillo, Gary Watson, Crispin Hudson, and Luigi Santiago.
And rounding out our field here, we've got Emmanuel Ojo, Antoine DeCash, and Micah Hendricks. So, everybody's going to make their way to the grid. We've got just a few more people, and we'll see all 27 cars go racing for 15 minutes.
The back of this field is quite a bit on that uphill, so it'll be a little bit of a tougher start for those guys, but should be all right. Certainly better than some of the tracks we've had earlier.
We can see there a slight view if we take a look all the way back here. This is last place, Micah Hendricks, but this right here is Devin Horvath, and he's going to see what he can do to make it count here tonight. He's got 15 minutes of racing ahead of him, and then wherever he finishes, if it's in the top 8, it'll be reversed for the 30-minute feature race. So not too long now, and that'll be the lights going on. There they go. So we'll see 5 lights come on. We've got 1, there's 3, and 5 are on. They're going to go out, and away they all go. Devin Horvath leads the pack away, and he swerves over to the left side really nice and early, keeps it there, and he's going to position his car very nicely going into turn 1. Not much anybody can do to stop him there, and looks like it's okay mostly in the background. A few little bumps and bangs there, but everybody's making it through nice and clean. It doesn't look like any big incidents to start the race tonight. We're seeing side-by-side action into turn 2. And we always love to see that because, you know, racing is racing. It's great. So Michael McLeod there being overtaken by Jean-William Rivera. And down to turn 2 they go. There is Devin Horvath, and beside him is Mikey Hownick going for the move on the inside line, but he Horvath goes off, and that's going to cost him time and acceleration, and that's going to let Mikey Hownick through. Carl Ribbing in the background's had some issues. You can see him off on the side of the track there, and further back, Aiden Young is on the prowl. He's up 1 position. He's looking for 2, trying to get past Ryan Winfelt for P3. Gurkan Demir back here. He is chasing down very closely Jose Maria. He's right on the back of him there. And let's take a look at our intervals. That's about a 1/10 gap, 2/10 almost. So he's nice and close. Troy Fenelon has an issue as well. Oh boy, I don't like what I'm seeing. Let's take a look. Oh no. Yeah, that's Troy Fenelon spun around. Shannon Mothral had some Young Choi collected as well. That's a number of people. Gurkan Demir.
Shame to see. Not uncommon to see a spin there.
But here goes Aiden Young on Ryan Winfelt going down, and he's already ahead way before it's time to break. So very well done. Got a great exit, made it out, and he's already ahead. Further back,
Horvath is about to come into the pits here.
Yeah, Horvath has to take that drive-through from his penalty, so that'll cost him a decent shot at the race. But he led lap 1 nice and well, so let's see if he can have a little bit of a comeback here tonight.
Hownick actually passed him. So Horvath deciding not to come in on this first lap, which I kind of thought you had to do, but Hownick, the leader of this race overall, with Aiden Young now side by side with Ryan Winfelt again.
Yeah, there they go into turn 1. Ryan Winfelt's ahead. He'd had that slipstream, and he got a better exit, but let's see what he can do with it. There they go into the brakes. Nicely on the brakes, but Ryan Winfelt's just far better. And look at that, Philippe Straffarelli right behind. Oh, Ryan Winfelt on exit loses the car a little bit. And
that was close.
That cost him a little time. He has to check up, does Aiden Young. And Philippe Straffarelli is now on
Oh,
his
he loses
outside.
again.
Oh, and he's
Oh, that's
no.
unfortunate.
Philippe Straffarelli goes off because of that. Ryan Winfeld just having a little bit of trouble getting the car turned in, and that gives him a little punt there. So nice and close now. That's less than a tenth of a gap there, and they are all side by side, nice and close out front. Wow.
Yeah, Patrick Kingston there trying to make up another spot. If he didn't catch it at the start, he couldn't have possibly had a worse start off the line. Tons of wheel spin, and lost 3 spots before they even got to turn 1. And then Michael McLeod, he's down 3 as well, was actually down 5 at one point. It's because he was directly behind Hingston and just couldn't get around him. He was immediately behind with Hingston's troubled start, and they both just got swallowed in those first couple corners. But now McLeod's made up 2 spots since then, and Hingston has made up 3.
Yeah, Hingston is on the move. He's doing pretty good here tonight. He's up from P9, so let's see if we could track him down for the rest of this race. See what he can do. He's had some pretty good pace to start, though. This is Carl Ribbing, and he's chasing down the monster car there, the 64 of Gary Watson. And, I mean, he's getting pretty close going into the kink. That's not really why you want to make your move. You want to sit behind and then get the slipstream down into this nice uphill braking, hard braking right-hander. But he didn't get it the right exit, and he's going to have to sit behind him.
Yeah, Ribbing had something happen at the start of this race, but my guess is he just went off into the grass because clearly no damage to that car. But has the opportunity to right some wrongs there and make some spots back. He's only down 3, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, Ribbing went off in turn 3, the hard braking at the end of that straight there. We could see him in the background, spun around, and that cost him some time. But obviously, it hasn't hurt him too bad. He's only down 3. Could be much worse.
Jean Rivera, one of the most impressive gainers at the front of the field, leading the AM class and up 7 positions overall. Had a really good start and then took advantage of some mistakes early on from a couple guys in front of him.
Yeah, doing very well. And, I mean, 10 places for Micah Hendricks is not too bad.
Devin Horvath obviously has to have that drive-through, but that top 2 are, they're really starting to pull away on pace right now. It's Hownick is leading by less than a second, but they've got like 4 seconds to Ryan Winfeld behind there. Just to worry about.
This is Gary Watson and Carl Ribbing finally sizing up that move. This is where Carl Ribbing spun on lap 1. Now the inside line is his. Can he keep it together? And it's going to look like it. He's got his tires ahead. That's a whole car ahead now going into the corner. And Gary Watson does not have an answer for that wonderful attack by Carl Ribbing.
Yeah, once you've got the inside under that gantry, it's yours to be able to take that next turn. So well done. As long as you can beat him in the corner in that first turn, you've got it. Just like Young Choi is about to do here.
There you go. The inside line. Definitely the place to be in turn 4. You can see Young Choi has a little bit of damage there from a lap 1 incident going into the carousel. And I don't think the damage is going to be as forgiving as it was last week at Belle Isle.
I'm surprised it's not worse for him than we saw. I mean, Montreal, we saw him like get airborne, so I kind of figured it would be a worse deal for Choi there. But it looks like it's not too bad, and he certainly had pace to pass a couple guys already.
Yeah, Young Choi's a fast driver, and I mean, the damage is there. He's probably not as bad off as it looks, but I mean, Belle Isle, they were missing hoods and setting fastest laps, so that's something to consider.
So looking at the last laps, I mean, yeah, like I said, the top guys are there's just no one close to him. Hownick's last lap 2:08.6. Horvath was a 2:09.1. However, that lap was an off track there, so it was not a counted lap. Everyone else is in the mid 2:09s for the most part, some 2:10s. But I mean, Hownick being in the 8s already with how long it takes these tires to warm up, that's pretty incredible.
Maria staying ahead as he's under attack from Mr. Santana there, but does nicely to keep it in front. But going down the straight, that slipstream is going to be pretty nice and powerful. Let's see what he can do. He's under attack, is Mark Santana by Philippe Straffarelli as well. So keep an eye on the pair there. They're about a tenth, less than a tenth now apart. And Philippe
backing out,
getting, a little squirrely there. Dipped a tire in the sand. You can see that mark there, and he's all right, though.
Yeah, that's the best passing opportunity there. Straffarelli probably wouldn't have been able to have him if Santana didn't have that great slipstream from Maria in front. But this is not going to be a battle that ends yet.
So here is what oh, okay, hold on. That was
Carrillo and Rivera dropping down the order there.
This is Carrillo spinning,
Yep.
Rivera hitting him. That
was Straffarelli's off.
And
A collision with Santana. Same exact same spot.
Let's take a look at that as well. Same
They're
exact
still there.
incident.
That's Carrillo still there.
Yeah, Carrillo, I think he'll probably park it, or if he's going to rejoin, he has to wait for all the cars to pass, so that's costing him some time. But yeah, that's very unfortunate for the cars involved. That's going to set them back, especially over halfway through this race.
That's Straffarelli deciding to tow, and Santana doesn't have a meatball, but that damage is bad. That front left tire is completely messed up and has some damage to the rear of the car as well. So it's going to be tough for him for the rest of this race, and Straffarelli is effectively out of it now.
Yes, it's not a good predicament that he's found himself in, but he does have the feature race to try to come back and see what he can do. All right, so Ryan Winfeld still doing nicely out in third. Aiden Young, who was ahead, actually had some problems. He's back in fifth now.
It's not been too bad. You know, he's lost, of course. Devin Horvath did not come into the pits and was DQ'd from this race. I was confused that he didn't come in. I was kind of waiting for it. I saw him go by a third time and was like, you have to come in after 3 laps, right? Well, he never did, and he's out of this race.
Yeah, you have a 3-lap buffer there. For those that don't know, from when you get to the penalty to when it'll take action on you not serving it. So 3 laps came and went, even though we're on lap 5, and Devin Horvath is in the pit lane disqualified.
I wonder if he's still allowed to be in the second heat. I would hope so, but I mean, look at that. We just hit 10 minutes. We've only got 5 minutes to go. It's been so fast with these long lap times. You know, we've not had not been able to see a lot of racing. We need that 30-minute heat coming up, but we got some guys in some good positions that have made up a lot of spots. You see everybody at the top has made up spots, but especially one of the most notable ones is that John Rivera, despite the incident he had there, he's up 6 spots and he's in that reverse grid pole spot right now.
Yeah, 8th place is where you want to be if you want to win the feature, or if you want to start on a pole at least, because that'll put you there. And you'll start from pole. You can lead the pack. We saw a few people do it in past races. The amateurs starting on pole, leading, and then getting a really nice lead, and then finishing overall second, third. Oh, Troy.
Yeah, this has been a really good race for Aaron Hall here, who's the leader for the amateur points still. He's got a 15-point gap on Carl Ribbing.
How about Ryan Winfeld and Patrick Hingston now into turn 1? Hingston's ahead as they go down to the braking zone.
Right behind.
But Winfeld has the inside line, which is kind of what we've seen is what you
collision.
want. Aiden Young. Wow, the switchback too from Hingston as he's being pushed by Aiden Young, and they all file into a line into turn 2. Aiden Young going around the outside, though. He thinks he can make it work. This was dangerous for Straffarelli. It's not going to provide him the exit he needs, though, and he's going to have to file back behind Ryan Winfeld. We saw Philippe Straffarelli got knocked off track with a similar move on Ryan Winfeld on lap 2. But luckily, it all works out. Nobody's hurt. Patrick Hingston into P2, and Aiden Young still in P5.
Hingston, like I said, had a really rough start to this race, but has turned it on with some pretty solid pace. Specifically, he's had really good racecraft because his fastest lap is not, it's slightly slower than Winfeld and Young behind him actually, but his racecraft next to these other guys, he's just been taking advantage of some draft and really nailing these corners to make the attack.
Yeah, doing very well. Now, Gary Watson has had an incident where he is in, I believe, P14 right now. It doesn't look too bad. He's not falling quite down the order. May have got it running again.
Yeah, he just went a little wide in turn 3 there. Was trying to avoid. Oh, actually, he did collide with Michael Carrillo. Carrillo was able to survive just a little bit of a tap to the bumper, but that's where he lost all that time.
All right. Alrighty then. And now Aiden Young is closing that gap back up to Ryan Winfeld as they go into the braking zone here, but nothing coming of it. They are the closest on track right now, having a wonderful battle.
I can tell you what's not being closed is the gap from Winfeld to Howanick. I mean, Hinkson to Howanick, sorry. That's a 9-second gap that they've got going, and it just keeps growing. Howanick continuing to put in 208s, which only, I think, one other person's even done for a single lap.
Yeah, I mean, he is flying out there and doing really well to hopefully bring home this heat win. He's got about one more lap to go when he comes across the line.
Yep, there he is. He's getting that white flag, so he just needs to finish out this heat. He lost a little time on that last lap. Actually, was a little bit slower, but he's got plenty of gap to go.
Yeah, it's gonna be a nice easy win for him, really. Once Horvath was eliminated from his not served penalty, I mean, it would have been eliminated either way if he served it or not. But he did a nice job to keep it clean, keep the pace there, and run away. But Aiden Young looking for it on Ryan Winfeld, taps him through the corner. He got on the power a little bit earlier, but
nice job by Winfeld to park it on the apex.
Yeah, Winfeld really defending hard. He does not want to lose this place with one lap to go.
He's given up, of course, on attacking Hingston in front, but really good car placement there to prevent Young from being able to make a switch back in that braking zone.
For sure. So we can see that Mr. Howanick is currently going into the back stretch through the kink. So he'll be able to take that win, and he'll be up one position from second place. Patrick Hingston is currently up 2 from his start in third. Ryan Winfeld's where he started in good old third place. And then Aiden Young up 1, and then a list of people that have gained greatly in the heat here. But look at this. Here we see Ryan, and I believe that's Aaron Hall going at it. Aaron Hall's ahead, and he's going to have the nice line and be able to keep that. But let's take a look here, as this is Aaron Hall. I believe that's going to be it for this race, the sprint race. Mikey Howanick is going to take the win for sprint race number 1 here at Road America. And Ryan is fighting all the way to the end, but it's just not going to work out for him. Ryan Winfeld keeps third place. Aiden Young cannot answer his defense.
For a first race of the season, having qualified in 11th, strong first heat for Ryan Colhoun, only finishing behind Hall for the AM class.
Yeah, not too bad. That's a class podium. I mean, despite being in 7th. All right, so finishing out this race, everybody's got to cross the line. Gary Watson's coming about now. He's up 8 positions. Troy Fenelon, not as lucky in this race, down 7. You can see he's missing a hood there. And Luigi Santiago up 8. Edward Hubbs up 3. Gherkin Demir is up 1. And then Young Choi, or Crispin Hudson, who's trying to track him down in the final corner, can't quite get it done, is up 4.
Edward Hubb unfortunately had an incident on that last lap in the turn 3 in the braking zone. Went really deep, and then had to kind of take a long time getting his car around, making sure not to get in anybody's way. So still up 3 spots, like you said. So it's not a total disaster, but I think we need to keep an eye on him because he's got some pace to be higher than 17th.
He surely does. We'll have to watch him, see what he can do. He's got twice the length of this race to see what he can gain, get some extra points, and just have a better chance. So let's see. We've got just about everybody just waiting on Mr. Michael Murillo, and then he'll come across the line. He is right in the last corner right now, and that'll be that.
We saw him just in front of the leader, Mikey Howanick, at the end. So unfortunately, he had to go a whole nother lap around.
No shame in that. So he crosses the line, and that's going to trigger the end of this race session. Going into a little warm-up, we'll take a look at our scenic view of this wonderful track. And Then we'll have our 30-minute feature.
So our grid that we're going to have is going to put Jean-William Rivera on the pole position with Ryan Colhoun right behind him. So with Aaron Hall in third as well. So 3 AMs there who have secured the top 3 spots for this race, and then it's going to be all pros behind them for 5th through 8th. So we'll see, what the pace difference is going to be between those guys and how they start, and hopefully Patrick Kingston has a better start. Him being in 7th, he started in 4th in the sprint heat and had that bad start. It's going to be more of an effect if he has a bad heat starting back there in 7th. So hopefully he's able to get that nailed, and I'm sure that we'll see an improvement on that. And Mikey Howanick, be interesting to see how he does when he's dealing with some traffic here, because when he was alone, he certainly had the pace. He got around Devin Horvath within the first lap, and after that, he just flew away. I think it was kind of a given that he was going to win the race, even if Horvath had not been DQ'd and didn't have to serve a drive-through, because just no one was able to be as fast as him.
Yeah, he had some true pace out there, and I think we'll see that come to light again in this second heat, and see him up there fighting for the win again.
Yeah, and Rivera as well, to add another note, right before he got caught up in that incident with Carrillo earlier, he was in 5th place. So he absolutely has the pace to be starting there on that reverse grid pole and then actually hold that for quite a long while of this upcoming race. So we'll have to see if he's able to do that. I didn't catch how his start off the line was in the first heat, but you can see a couple guys doing a little bit of practice in the pits there.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a lot of pros get caught up in that lap 1 wreck going into the carousel. So with them back in the mix now, Devin Horvath, Micah Hendricks, Philippe Straffarelli, they were all hindered there. So with them back in the mix, that could bring a better fight up to the front, but they do have a lot of work to do. So Jean-William Rivera starts on the, I guess, technically the right side here. It's our left, broadcaster's left, and let's see what he can do from pole.
Yeah, he's going to have some competition on side from Ryan Colhoun, who's really seeming to turn that car on late in that first heat. So, we'll see if they're able to have that early race pace on these freezing cold tires, which are very difficult to get to temp.
Definitely very tricky. We had a patch on the tires just last week, I believe, and changed it a little bit, but wasn't too much of a difference. Obviously not in handling, but grading procedure has ended. There's our lights. We're gonna see 5 of them. So 1, there's 3, and there's 5, and now there's 0. They go out, and away goes Jean-William Rivera. Great start for him. And further back, Aaron Hall is looking to chase down Ryan Colhoun, and he gets it. He's ahead as they're going to the braking zone. We can see him 3 wide. They are all... Oh, no, that's Gurkin Demir, I think. Gary Watson caught up in that big wreck in the background, but it looks like not a lot of people got caught up in that as well. So made it through nice and clean for most of the other field. Most of the rest of the field. Side by side, Michael McLeod there with Patrick Hingston. Hingston's going to stay ahead through the corner, though. And wow.
Up 3.
Yeah, that is
changed
nice
from
and
the first heat.
IndyCar cameras here tonight, and that is a wonderful shot of Ryan Winfeld and Michael McLeod going side by side here down into turn 3. Ryan Winfeld is ahead. Can he keep it? He needs that inside line for the next corner. Oh, but he makes contact. Michael McLeod's going to collect him, and looks like Carrillo and somebody else off into the grass. Ryan Winfeld coming back to keep that inside line. Loses a few spots, but luckily not a huge wreck. Little damage there you can see though from Michael McLeod as Jose Maria looks up the inside of him. Further back.
We'll see if that damage gives him an issue. We can see Mark Santana with some damage as well.
Yeah, we can also see Devin Horvath, who's up 10 positions already. So he's on a hard charge. Aaron Hall up 1 position from 3rd. Now it's a 1-2-3 for the amateur drivers right now. That's something we haven't seen yet. amateur driver. Oh, hold on. It
Oh
won't be for
no,
long.
you.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Rivera
I
keeps
see.
it.
He
Nicely-
survived that. He's
nicely
still
done.
first. Yeah.
Yeah, we have not seen this in a long time, or at all. I don't think a 1, 2, 3 of amateur drivers. So let's see if they can hold on to that. They're doing pretty good. But Patrick Hingston there,
Hingston's right there.
Hingston is chasing down Hall, and he's right on the bumper there, chasing him down. And let's see what he can do into the long straight. We've seen him do it before. It's one of his favorite corners to pass in, especially with that slipstream. It's just too convenient for him. Let's see what he can do. We'll come back to them in just a second as they get to the end of the straight. Here, Shenema Thrall is going around the outside of Stephen Eckenrode, and he gets it done. Or the inside, sorry. But down to the braking zone, Patrick Hingston, what can he do? He's going to pull back.
out. Ooh,
Now he's going to
maybe
go
not.
back for it again. What is he doing? He's trying to fake out Aaron Hall as Jean Rivera sets the fastest lap. Yeah, he is. He's trying to play
And
mental
he's
games
actually
with Aaron
sending
Hall.
it here.
That's
he's
the
gonna
place
take
to
that
do it.
position.
The inside line is just very powerful here. You can't really get the good exit with the outside line, and he gets it done.
Yeah, those 3 AMs though, Rivera, Colhoun, and Hall, all had really good starts off the line. I mean, I think Hall's was marginally better, but it wasn't enough to gain the spot over Colhoun next to him or Rivera in front of him. So no big mistakes early on in that race, and obviously Hingston, fantastic start off the line, and then now made his way up 4.
Yeah, Devin Horvath as well. Great start to this race. 11 places up. He just gained 1 more as he went around Troy Fenelon. Luckily for Fenelon, it was not in the braking zone, so no time lost battling. It was just to let him pass through with the speed he had.
Yeah, he still has quite a ways to go to get into those big point positions, which, like I said, very important because he has Aiden Young, who finished well in the previous heat and is currently running in 5th, and he's right behind him in the points. Obviously, Horvath not getting any points from that last race, I wouldn't imagine.
That right there, though, is Ryan Calhoun. I can't say that name. Colhoun going off. Sorry, Ryan.
Yeah, that's down 13. Oh, this
Side by side, Aiden Young is right ahead through Aaron Hall there, and gets the move done on the inside.
Colhoun just now finally rejoining the track. Oh man,
Aaron Hall.
He
going
doesn't
off
even
track,
really have
though.
that bad of damage.
Or Aiden Young, I say. He's all right though.
Yeah, Luigi Santiago, we see him in the pit there. He had a damage bad enough to have to tow and get that fixed. So we'll see if he rejoins the race with this being a longer one. But unfortunately, that's really taking him out. Ooh, wide there.
That right there would be, I believe, Edward Hubb in the Kraken. Maybe not.
Yes.
But Shannon Mothral is looking to pass Michael Murillo, and down they go to turn 1. They're side by side, but look at that. Mothral way ahead. He's got that tire straight ahead, and through he goes. Nice and easy peasy.
A little bit of a better looking car than he had last week, that's for sure.
That's ribbing, though, with Jose Maria, and he's going to stay ahead. Now, Horvath wants to make up some positions. You can get Jose, possibly, and then Carl, if that slipstream is working favors for him. But, Jose coming back in the straight line speed category. And let's see. Horvath kind of boxed in there. Not a lot of places he can go. He's going to look for the switchback behind. Carl Ribbing goes off. So that's that's definitely gonna make up one position for him, but it kind of hindered him. He didn't get the exit he wanted to switch back on Jose Maria.
Horvath really is not that far off from the lead. I mean, you can see there he's half a second off of Maria. And I mean, the gaps from 9th up are not that big. So yeah, just over 10 seconds. Now down to 10.1, and with 25 minutes to go, it's very possible because Patrick Hingston, he had the fastest lap on the previous lap, and he still has a guy to get around in Rivera, who's putting up some pretty good pace of his own. But
there goes Horvath. That was obviously an arranged trade. Maria saying, "You're faster than me. I'll follow you." But 3 wide almost now. That's not going to work. Wow, that was close for Young Choi as he got door banged going through that little kink. And luckily, nobody gets hurt. But Carl Ribbing is going to take that spot from Young Choi if he can get his car up further enough, and he does. Nicely done for Carl Ribbing. He's through, but Young Choi's fighting back. Does he have that inside line? just doesn't. He has to back out.
Rivera done well to lead these first 3 laps, but it's looking like his time has come as Hingston puts in an 8/10 faster on that last lap, and now directly on the bumper of him, about to come into the best passing opportunity of the track. However, no shocker, Mikey Howenick there with the fastest lap of the race, down into the 208s already again.
Yeah, Mikey Howenick. Oh, he's flying on this track, but he needs to make up a few more spots. It's not a big gap to the lead, but it's a few cars, and they're not going to let him go easy.
Rivera actually had a pretty decent exit, so I don't know if Hingston's going to try to make a move here. He's not, so he's going to go out wide and try to take a different angle here. No, it's not going to quite work.
Good try, though, from Hingston.
Yeah, with that lost time there, Rivera may actually still continue to lead this race. So looking really strong out front. We saw that minor mistake in the kink, but after that, he's been rock solid up there.
Yeah, looking really, really good. So, Mikey Howenick in that default Porsche livery is chasing down Aiden Young, but can he get by? We know Aiden's a very, very good defensive driver. He's a really good offensive driver. Really, really solid all around. So, Mikey Howenick's not going to take this easy unless there's some sort of mistake from the young driver there.
Especially interesting to see Aaron Hall there right up on those guys as well. He lost a couple spots from the start of the race, but it looks like the car's kind of coming back to him, and he was challenging Howenick there for that 4th place spot. He's going to stay behind the 2 for now, but looks like it's coming towards him a little bit. Rivera coming around the last corner. Still going to lead, and actually Hingston's still pretty good amount back, over a second. He'll have a couple drafting opportunities here, but certainly not as close as Young and Howenick are. Howenick close enough to make a move in the turn 1 here.
Let's see what he can do. He's pulling out. He's chosen the left side. He's blinking a little bit, but he's chosen the outside line, but he's got way more speed than Aiden Young does. On the brakes. Young way better on the brakes. They're side by side through turn 1 still, and into the grass. Just dipping a tire out there. Luckily, no spins. Still side by side, but the inside line's the one to have here, it seems. Aiden Young, much better. Howenick pushed out wide. What can he do? Still side by side, actually. Not a bad exit for Howenick. He's got 3rd place technically, but can he hold on to it into the braking zone? You really want to keep inside line into turn 4. That's the big thing here. So he's got the inside line now. Hopefully Aiden Young does not switch back on him. They're not going to happen, and Howenick's got the line now. This is optimal. Yep. This is crucial, and he's going to back out. Aiden Young knows he's not going to gain that position. He's just going to back out and save that time.
I don't even think he backed out there. He just went a little wide and really lost some drive off the car by getting a little bit loose. So Howenick, it took him 4 turns to do it, but making that pass and doing well. But all that means that he just loses more time to the guys in front. You can see now 3.1 seconds to Hingston, who, I mean, is really not caught up that much to Rivera. It seems like the car's coming to Rivera as well.
Young Choi on the inside is going to make it work, but hold on. Maria's fighting back, and Mothral is going to join this party as well. Young Choi finally got the full car ahead through the carousel. That's a tricky corner to go side by side through, and now Mothral is gonna chase Maria through the kink. Now Mikey Howenick is still blinking. I think he just thought they swapped positions for a second, but no. He has to run away and keep Aiden Young behind him now, because that's a tricky ask.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me, given that at least in that first heat, Howenick was unquestionably the fastest guy, and he also is the fastest lap so far in this race. So we'll see if he's able to catch up pretty quickly. He's got 9 laps to go, so plenty of time to do it. And Hingston's still not able to get around Rivera. It's just about a half a second gap right now.
Yeah, they are. It's tricky. These drivers are all so talented, let me tell you. So we're not seeing a lot of easy passes. These are skilled passes, like right here. Jose Maria on the outside. Young Choi is got the inside line, and it's going to work. He's going to fend off Maria just for a little bit longer. Maria's looking for the inside to turn 2. We know it works, but we've seen it work the other way around, and for young Choi,
Nicely done.
it works the other way around. Shannon Thrall's in the background now as well, trying to chase down Jose Maria. He got a good exit, it looks like, and he's got a little bit of slipstream, so maybe he can make something move. He's really late on the brakes, but Maria pulls out as well, trying to go on young Choi, and they're just going to stay single file through the corner after all the commotion.
We've seen already during this season a number of times where young Choi is at his best on the defense, and that was a good few corners there, a really good car placement, strong enough on the brakes and able to hold that position. So doing well so far for him. He's up 9 spots, holding back Maria there, and Matheral, as you just mentioned, he's right there as well, and he's up 12 spots. So both guys doing well to rectify some incidents they had early. Obviously, Matheral in that big crash before the carousel, and then Choi had his own incidents of his own.
Yeah, and Hinkston, I don't know if it was mentioned, is in first, past Rivera.
Oh, yes.
So he's got a nice gap now, about a second back, and it's looking good for him.
Yeah, just I'm going back looking. It's a classic, pass through the. Oh no, Rivera.
This is Rivera in the Red Bull livery. I think he's just gonna go a little bit deep.
Canada.
Yeah, loses it. Unfortunate, but it's not a super devastating crash. No big damage, just some ego damage there.
Yeah, drops down to 8th.
There's
Unfortunately,
Matheral in the final corner on Jose Maria, and he's got the inside line, got the drive off the corner. Now it's up to Slipstream to guide one of them further ahead. It's looking like Matheral. Go ahead.
No, it's just he's Rivera currently in 8th. He finished 7th in the last race, so he does have Horvath in front, who is trying his best to steam through the field, who's now up 16 after getting around Rivera.
Yeah, 16 is a lot of places to gain. Shannon Matheral, 13, a lot of places to gain. And Horvath definitely on a charge right now. He's got a little bit of the way to go to catch Michael Carrillo. That gap definitely has increased, I'm sure. Let's take a look at that. So no, it's gone down by 2 seconds. So he is still catching out in front. Remember, John Rivera gave Patrick Hinkston a little bit to fight for to get around, but of course he's no longer up there.
We'll see how Hinkston's able to do in some fully clean air, although he was definitely able to put in some good pace while still behind Rivera. Rivera was fast in his own right. Now, finishing that last lap that they just did, Hinkston was a 209.5, and then Howenick was a 209 flat. Aiden Young himself has made his way into the 208s. It's just him and Howenick, I believe, is the only two that have been able to do that in this race so far.
Yeah, that's how it's looking right now. You're right with the 208 comment there. They are going pretty fast, that's for sure. And, Mikey Howenick really on pace. We're not seeing as fast, 209.3 for Devin Horvath, but, he's still catching, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. About halfway through this race right now.
Yeah, well, these last couple laps have gone the way of Young. Young was faster than Howenick on the previous lap. On this lap, I'm interested to see the time because he is. Oh, and then Howenick goes wide. Oh, and he almost loses it.
Oh, wow.
What a save, but he's going to lose the spot.
Yeah, that spot is
that
gone. But luckily, he didn't take Aiden Young with him.
Well, that fastest lap for Young, fastest lap that he's done now, 208.9. So back-to-back 208.9s. Extremely fast when you compare it to Hinkston in front, who's only got to have a second or, just over 2 second gap. And he just put in a 209.4. So Young is catching at half a second a lap pace with 7 laps to go. That's enough for him to absolutely challenge for the lead here.
Yeah, half a second is a lot. And, we're just about halfway through, and he's made his way up through over halfway the field, half of the field. So less than 30 cars. He's made up over half of 30. So he has charged through this race, and he's not stopping anytime soon. There is the blinking Mikey Howenick, and Ryan Winfeld chasing down Aaron Hall. It's about a 3/10 gap, and as well as Michael McLeod. on Jean Rivera, who had some incidents earlier in the race. About 3/10 gap for both of these instances here. And of course, Aaron Hall. Aiden Young is also was 3/10 away, but that's now been lengthened.
Aiden Young looking really strong. I thought maybe he would. His problem would be that he'd get slowed down by having to battle with Hownick. But if anything, Hownick's just kind of fallen back to Aaron Hall, and Winfeld's caught up to Hall. So this whole group is, I mean, first is not that far out for Hingston, and then the entire top 9 guys are all within touching distance of each other.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on these guys right now. Aaron Hall and Ryan Winfeld, they are the closest on track, and they are heating up a nice move. Ryan Winfeld is.
Over the last 5 laps, Winfeld's been 2/10 faster, but on the previous lap, he was half a second faster than Hall. It was pretty much the exact same pace as Hownick was after Hownick's mistake.
Yeah, that's a considerable pace difference, and I mean, he's looking good out there, so I have to keep an eye on him. Further back, though, at the back of the field, Stephen Eckenrode is going at it with Philippe Straffarelli, but he just can't stay ahead, and Philippe is ahead.
Young 9/10 faster than Hingston on the previous lap. It's only 1.4 seconds to go. It could be 2 laps, and he's already made his way to the lead. So that was 3 2:08s that he's now put back to back to back. He's absolutely the fastest guy on track right now.
Definitely, that is an insane pace difference there.
Winfeld still not able to get around Hall. Hall doing well to recover from losing a few positions at the start of the race. Certainly looks fast. Like I said, it looked like he was coming back to him, although Winfeld, one of the fastest guys in this field, absolutely no question. It's just taken him a little bit, honestly, to get through. He started in 6th, is in 5th. We got to see if he's been playing this tactically, though. He's got all those positions very close in front of him as Hall goes a little bit wide there coming into the carousel.
Let's see what he can do with that. I mean, if he nails his exit here, get the slipstream and make a nice turn through the kink there, this could end up pretty well for Ryan Winfeld going down to this braking zone. It's looking pretty good. He's about 2/10 behind.
Yeah, in the carousel and that kink, though, the dirty air, which isn't a ton in these cars, but the dirty air that does come off these make it pretty frustrating. And you can see Winfeld not really able to get any closer except in the braking zone there. Just a little bit better on the brakes than Hall in front.
Yeah, I did apparently overestimate the power of following a car, but he's still doing good, and he'll still have this long straight up here. I'm seeing a little bit of smoke, maybe a lockup from somebody. Not sure.
Young is potentially going to be making a move for first here in turn 1. That's how much he caught up. It was 1.4 at the line. He is now trying to take the lead. He was a 10th back at the line.
There they are.
I don't think he's got it here.
Yeah, Young is
backing
going to
out.
have... Oh, but he's going to send it up the inside.
Not back into that.
We've seen Young with some aggressive
there.
moves, but that time it didn't work out. Mikey Hownick up into the lead. We saw he was pretty fast. Oh, Ryan Winfeld getting caught up, though, by a rejoin. 3 wide. And, yeah, Aaron Hall there as well. That is not good at all. Michael Carrillo, Aaron Hall side by side. Wow.
Winfeld surviving, though.
Yeah, Winfeld is still in this race. He's got damage, but
he has a meatball.
It is not. Well, that'll do it. But there they go. Aaron Hall, Michael Carrillo into turn 3. Hall is ahead, and he's gonna stay ahead. All right, so Aiden Young, very aggressive move to take second. It would have been first, but Mikey Hownick was able to slip through the cracks there and get a nice 1.5 second lead now.
Yeah, Horvath able to slip through a couple positions more now, and obviously passes Winfeld, who's going to come into the pits. And again, the next 3 positions all in front of him, and 3rd place is still very possible for Horvath, or potentially even more than that.
Yeah, I mean, 3rd place is it's not settled at all. I know we said many times this season, do not put your money on anybody yet, because it can change just like that. And 3rd place, definitely one of those kinds of situations.
Howenick definitely turning it on that last lap, despite the fact, I mean, other than him being able to get through to the lead, he also put in a 2:08.6, which was the fastest lap of the entire race. So he was able to put in a quick lap and didn't really get hampered by the two guys in front of him colliding, was able to kind of just slide on right by. So Young has a big challenge now in front of him because the guy in front is no longer Hinkson. It's the guy who's the only guy on track who's put in a faster lap than he has.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to do some work. And now look at this. Horvath, the gap to Carrillo ahead. That is slowly, well, not slowly, but it is surely coming down. And he's going to be right on the back of Carrillo any time now as Carrillo pulls out for the move on Aaron Hall. Let's take a look. He's going to back out.
Yep, nothing doing there, but plenty of opportunities coming up. You can see Hall has just a little bit of damage to that car, and that might be hampering his pace. But Carrillo looking good at this, 2/3 of the way into the race or so.
Yeah, we are in the final stretch. I mean, 2/3, but that's really only about 7.5 minutes. So it's really about a quarter now.
And felt finally coming out of the pits there, and obviously lost a ton of spots down to 16th, unfortunately. But just, not in a race this short, there's no one avoiding it.
Mothral thinking about the move, but he's just going to be nice on the brakes, and Young Choi is going to stay ahead.
Carrillo's just all over the back wall. I'm surprised he actually wasn't able to get by in that down that long straight in the middle of the track, although he's pressuring him all over the place here. Yeah, surely he's not going to try here, is he?
He's going to try here. They're side by side through the whole carousel. And wow, one of them's going to have to back out. I think it'll probably be Hall. Yeah, doesn't even have to back out. He just has a great exit. Michael Carrillo does. And that's going to help him get another spot.
Look at that.
Devin Horvath in the background, yeah. He is all over the bumper of Aaron Hall. And it's
should have taken the spot. He could have made the spot there.
He's going to try to take it into the... No.
Yeah, that's weird.
Interesting. Further back, though, Young Choi, Mothral going it still in the blue Pabst. Mothral is going to take the inside, and he's going to turn Young Choi.
Collision.
Oh, that's going to be a heavy collision. Oh, well, just barely a heavy collision for Young Choi there. His car does not look too bad. Oh, too much on the power, though. Doesn't look too bad.
Unfortunately, that was some pretty bad net code there. They didn't actually, their physical models didn't touch. And Mothral coming away with nothing on that, but unfortunately, Choi losing a lot of time.
So Horvath has a straight shot through if he can be good on the brakes. It's not going to be good enough to get by Carrillo, but it's going to be enough to get by Aaron Hall. Now he could try going on the inside. No, he doesn't have the speed, but he'll have a nice exit if he can get played right and maybe do a little something into turn 3. Oh.
Yeah, it really looks like Hall struggles in a straight line with that damage on his car right now.
Yeah, damage always slowing us down. It wasn't too bad at Belle Isle because there was not a lot of straight line, but here it's gonna cost you. Now here goes Horvath into turn 3. They're
Much
side
better
by
on brakes.
side, and yeah, Horvath is ahead, just like that. Nicely done.
Looking like as long as he's able to keep putting in the pace that he's got, it's pretty much wrapped up for Howenick at front. You know, he's got a 3-second gap, and his last lap was 0.8 faster than Aiden Young was. Aiden Young in the 2:10s, so I don't know if there was a mistake in there or if the tires are really starting to fall away after an aggressive mid part of the race for him.
Here goes Horvath, though. That's just a back marker, I believe, though.
Yeah, letting him through there.
Yes, so Horvath is about 2.6 seconds now off the back of third place, Patrick Hinkston. So he's going to have to put in some really, really fast laps with 5 minutes to go to catch up to P3.
Yeah, 2 laps. He was able to successfully get past those 2 guys, but that's a pretty big gap he's got to make up there. Hinkston's last couple laps were in the 2:09s. You know, not the fastest guy on track, but fast enough to probably defend his position. But we'll see. Late in the race, the tires get more and more difficult and cause more mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, 4 minutes now. They just have to keep together the tires. I mean, it doesn't look like there's been too bad of a drop-off. Everybody's seemingly doing okay. Let's take a look at their last lap times. So in the 9s, but still very low 9s for Howenick and Young. in the 9 zeros.
And as you can see there, Young 0.006 slower than Hownick, so very evenly matched. But Young needs to be more than evenly matched. He needs to be 1.5 seconds faster per lap right now. So if Hownick keeps it cool, he'll be coming away with a win on this after a really good race last week as well.
Yeah, on the penultimate lap, all he has to do is do about, how many turns we have here? 14, so call it 28, not even. That's a rough guess. Anyways, he's got a few more turns, a lap and a half to go, and the double win will be Mikey Hownick's.
Yeah, it would be surprising to see him make a mistake at this point, though. He has, looks like both of them, both Hownick and Young, maybe lost a little bit of pace. It looks like it because I think Hingston has caught up to them. And yeah, Horvath not catching up enough to make it a story, I don't think, when we're coming into the final lap here. But you can see Jose Maria apparently all over the back of Michael Murillo. Michael Murillo up 12 spots from starting in 22nd.
Yeah, 12 spots. That's a decent amount. Of course, Jose Maria's down 2, but Shannon Mothral as well ahead of this pair is up 16 spots, and we've got even more, 19. But we all know who that is, Devin Horvath. On a great charge here tonight after being DQ'd from the last race.
Mothrall's fast enough to catch ribbing in this final lap, though. He's already brought it down to about 0.6 on the previous lap. He was 0.7 faster, so this could be one that comes to the line, or maybe even a little bit earlier with the help of some slipstream.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
It's better to line through there. Now he's there. That's for sure.
He's definitely brought that gap way down.
Wow. Bad line by ribbing.
I thought he was going to lose it there for a second. And now Monthrall is on the inside of the penultimate turn. Or the last
He's already
turn.
got the lead to it.
And now he's ahead. So we'll see that gap infographic update to show Monthrall ahead. He made up a decent amount of time there. Oh no, Ribbing gets it back at the line. So they're still side by side. The white flag is flying, by the way. This is all the beans right here. This move, of course, there's more opportunities, but it could set the pace for the entire lap. Shannon Mothral is ahead going into turn 2. And he's going to stay ahead. No contest by Carl Ribbing. Let's see if he can do anything. He's pretty far back. He's about 0.5. He needs a really...
Young goes wide. Hingston now on the back of him. Young went wide, fell way off Hownick now, and now he has to worry about Hingston. Obviously, we're past the main passing zones of this track, but he's a little bit in danger now.
This is Aiden Young. I thought you meant Young Choi for a second. But hold on now. Jose Maria and Michael Murillo are going at it, and Murillo is ahead still. That was well defended. Carl Ribbing has fallen off the back.
I don't think Hingston's quite close enough to make that move on Young, but obviously the hope for a win for Young, it fell away with that.
Yeah, the contact between the two drivers here, that really let Mikey Hownick just run away with it, and not great for them, but great for Mikey. Really strong performance here tonight, and he's just got about 2 more corners to go before he becomes a double winner at Road America.
Horvath wishes he just had 1 lap more. We'll see. He may be able to take this to the line, but if we had another lap to go, he surely would pass him. He's been much faster in every lap, but it's going to be really close here.
It's going to be close. Hownick takes the win at Road America, so great job to Mikey Hownick. And now, Devin Horvath on the way down. It's not looking like it, and it's not going to come out to be that way. Patrick Hingston takes 3rd, but Aiden Young's in 2nd. Then Devin Horvath in 4th. That was way out of order, but you got the idea. On the last lap, though, Jean-William Rivera is a little messed up there. His car had an incident there, and Michael Murillo now and Jose Maria all the way down to the line. But Maria's going to stay ahead in the last lap attempt by Maria. More closer cars here. Edward Hubb is ahead of Mark Santana and Ryan Winfeld, who was running great until an incident bumped him all the way down to 15th. All right. And then Jean-William Rivera, who had a little issue earlier on, is on his way to the finish line, as well as Crispin Hudson also just has to press the gas pedal to finish this race. Gurkan Demir has one more turn. Now he's done. Gas pedal to the end for him. Philippe Straffarelli is way further back, as we can see him coming up this uphill now. And then, of course, Steven Eckenrode behind him. He's got a ways to go. He was right ahead of Mikey Houenick as he crossed the line, so he has to do a full lap until he finishes the race. Final corner for Philippe Straffarelli. P20, not where he wants to finish. I mean, he's up one position this race than he was last race, but not where he wants to finish, especially being a pro. He's got a big gap to his brethren.
Yep, it'll be a race to forget for Straffarelli, who's had some strong ones in the past and had some pretty good pace in this race, but caught up in a couple incidents, unfortunately.
Yeah, Eckenrode in the grass almost loses it in the final turn of the race, but manages to keep it on, and he's going to cross the line to finish 21st. So, here are our results. Mikey Houenick takes the win. That's 2 wins tonight for him. Not too bad. Aiden Young follows him, then Patrick Hingston, Devin Horvath, Michael Carrillo, Aaron Hall, Michael McLeod, Shannon Mothral, Carl Ribbing, Michael Murillo, Jose Maria, Young Choi, Edward Hub, Mark Santana, Ryan Winfeld, Ryan Colhoun, John Rivera, and Crispin Hudson. I think I said that right this time, Ryan.
You did.
Okay, moving on.
Following those guys, in 19th, Gurkan Demir finishing right ahead of Philippe Straffarelli, Stephen Eckenrode, Gary Watson, Troy Fenelon, Luigi Santiago, Micah Hendricks, Emmanuel Ojo, and Antoine Decache.
Alrighty, so not too bad. I'd say that's a pretty solid race here tonight at Road America.
A lot of clean racing, a lot of great passes, so it was a fun one to watch, and I'm looking forward to next week with Barcelona Historic. I usually trash Barcelona a lot, but it's just because I hate the final sector of the official Grand Prix version. However, that should be changing in real life soon, but the historic version is much superior.
Yeah, so Barcelona next week as we go into week 9. 3 races left in this season of Porsche Cup Challenge. So we'll see you in about a week's time for that race. I'm Tom Corner. Zach Purcell joined me here tonight, and we'll see you next week.